I went to the Apple store recently and I picked up a brand new phone. This one here is called the iPhone SE. It's been out for a little while, but the point is this is the exact same size and form factor in all dimensions as the original iPhone 5, which is the phone I had until I got my iPhone 6 Plus. And the reason I bought the 6 Plus is just like everybody else. Everybody said, wow, there's a bigger one. We should all have the big one. Oh, wow, of course you got to have the big one. And then it made me remember that when the original iPhone came out, here's the iPhone 3G, it was pretty much, a pretty decent size. I mean, at that time, phones were big and they were getting smaller and smaller. In fact, I remember my first phone, you needed two hands to hold it, but it did have a handle so you can carry it like a bag. So you had one hand to carry the bottom and you had another hand to carry the earpiece. So you literally needed two hands to carry it. You had one for the phone and one for the handset because that's how big they were. And it was a marvel when phones got smaller and smaller and it became trendy to have a small phone. In fact, I remember a Saturday Night Live sketch. I think Will Ferrell was being like this ultra hip guy, and he had this phone that was like so small, it was smaller than a matchbook, and he would just kind of hold it and talk because he was so hip to have such a small phone. So it was really trendy to go smaller and smaller, and that's what was happening for a while. And when the iPhone originally came out, that was a pretty decent size, but then when the 5 came along, it was bigger, a little taller, not much, just a little. You put them side by side, it's maybe a half an inch to an inch, but the screen was definitely bigger. And then it seemed like at that point the trend was to get bigger and bigger. And Apple at that time was saying, well, we don't think it's really useful to have a phone much bigger than that because then you really can't reach it with your thumbs. But Samsung and a bunch of other companies started making bigger and bigger phones, so Apple, of course, had to match up with that. And they eventually came out with the 6 and the 6 Plus. Now I'm going to hold my 5 against my 6 Plus case. I mean, it is a drastic difference in size. I mean, it swims inside of the case for the old one here. There's a ton of extra space on all sides. And the point I'm mentioning this is, it's sort of like the emperor's new clothes. Everybody said, oh, we need a bigger phone, we need a bigger phone. And then the reality is, these things are really awkward to hold. I mean, when I hold it, and I have a pretty decent sized hand, hey, Donald Trump, big hands. I have a pretty decent sized hand, but it's still, to me, it's a weird grab. Whereas I could take this phone here and I could wrap my whole hand around it. And I still got some room. And when I hold it in my hands, it's light. I can move my thumb around anywhere on the screen. I could reach the top, I could reach the bottom. They actually had to create a mode in this other one where, because they knew you couldn't possibly get your thumb anywhere near the top, where you had to kind of half push and then it would leave the top part blank. The bottom line is, why on earth is everybody going for a bigger and bigger phone when in reality is these big phones don't fit well in your pocket, especially if you're putting a case on it like this. So what ends up happening is people don't carry them around the way they used to. I know a lot of people that will not carry their 6 plus sized phone or Samsung in their pocket, which means that sometimes you'll send them a message or you'll call them and they say, oh, I didn't get that. I didn't have my phone on me or with me because it was on a table somewhere because the darn thing's too big to carry around. I mean, let's face it, a mobile phone is supposed to be mobile. That means you should be able to carry it around easily. I could take this phone here and put it into a shirt pocket if I had one, and it fits. I could put it into my pants pockets, even if I've got small pockets in those particular pants, and still have room for my wallet and my keys and some money. You get the point? You put one of these buggers in your pocket, it's not gonna fit. And if it does fit, it's going to have like a crushing effect on your waist. It makes it hard to sit down. Why are people buying bigger phones? I don't know. But for what it's worth, at least as far as I'm concerned, I think the trend up should eventually peter out. I don't know what it is, but I think when I went back to the SE, there was like an awakening of like, yeah, that's what I liked. I like a nice small phone. I could put this on my holster on my waist. It doesn't bunch into me. It fits in my pocket. I could carry it with me anywhere I go. But the old 6 Plus size phone just doesn't do it for me. And it makes you wonder, because I originally thought I wanted one because I thought maybe I need reading glasses. Maybe it would be easier to read the screen. Well, I got news for you. The text size is almost exactly the same. Yes, it gives you a little bit more room for pictures, but the text size doesn't get better. And yeah, you can make the text size bigger, but I can make the text size bigger on this one here. If you put the two screens side by side and you look at the default type style, the words are exactly the same type style. And as soon as you start increasing the type style on the darn 6 or 6 Plus, certain apps don't look right. Even things like email, a lot of email just looked wrong, so you had to put it back to the default anyway. So for what it's worth, I think today's idea of the day is that people need to really reconsider the idea of a giant phone. If you want a tablet, get an iPad mini or something like that, or a Samsung Note, I think they call it a Galaxy Note. Get yourself a little tablet for when you want a little tablet. But when you want to carry something around, there's nothing better than a nice, small, compact phone. And that's today's idea of the day. So hey, thanks for watching. I don't really need any subscribers, but it would really be nice if you hit the subscribe button and shared this with your friends and told everybody how nice it is to be here and how there's lots of nice ideas every day. That would be nice. I don't need subscribers or anything like that. All I need is maybe this chair. And that's it, nothing else. Except maybe this paddleball game, the remote control, the ashtray, and the lamp. But that's it, I don't need anything else. Thanks.